Hey, this is Ross with my partner Bob. We have a show called Worldview Matters.
And Ross, as you know, we believe that everything in life is somehow related to how people view the world around them.
Our show is available on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Also available on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, July 8th. I'm James Spann. We think showers will be thinning out for the next couple of days, but probably increase again before the week is over. And, of course, we have the tropical storm to watch in the Atlantic, so let's go in there and take a look at some of the sky cam shots. We'll kind of peek out the window at mid-afternoon. A few patches of blue sky around. That's our sky cam at Trussville. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Very similar sky in Marion County. That's the sky cam at Hamilton High School in northwest Alabama. And in Gadsden, the sky there is cloudy. Some rain is nearby. In fact, we have some fairly strong storms on the eastern side of the state as we do this update this afternoon. There's the big picture, upper high over the southern plains. We've got a weakness on either side of that. Temperatures again today, just not bad. How about 79 at mid-afternoon on a July day? Come on. For Birmingham and Gadsden, I mean, last time we saw 90 was on June 29th. Wow, this is the 9th consecutive day with highs under 90. In fact, many of the days this month we've had highs in the 70s. Around the nation, the hottest weather is under the upper ridge over Kansas and Oklahoma. And, of course, out in the deserts, it's always hot, seasonally hot. Check the radar. That's the way things look at 225. Some pretty decent storms east of I-65. And along and south of US 80, those are moving east, producing heavy rain in spots. We're used to that. Flash flood watch for the northern half of Georgia. Other than that, things are pretty quiet around the nation. The severe weather potential way up north. That's a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Montana until 7 o'clock Mountain Time tonight. Yeah, this is summer. That's where the risk of severe weather will be for the rest of this afternoon and tonight. Tomorrow, some of the cities in the risk would include Des Moines, Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Milwaukee, Detroit, Omaha. And on day 3, which is Wednesday, a slight risk from near St. Louis up into New England. Also a slight risk over the western high plains. Here's the rain for the next 5 days. This carries us through Saturday morning at 7 o'clock local time. This is suggesting rain amounts of about 1 inch here. And we all know some people will get more, some people will get less. That's the nature of the summer storms. And the tropics, the circle guys have that upper low circle that's around the Bahamas. That is exclusively an upper feature. There's no surface circulation there. And Chantal, of course, our tropical storm that's approaching the Windward Islands, moving along at a pretty good clip. That thing's moving forward at about 25 miles an hour towards the west-northwest. That in itself is a limiting factor for strengthening. The other problem, it's got dry air around the system. And the third problem, it's going to encounter a lot of islands. There's the guidance, and you can see the models are clustered nicely. They bring the thing just below Puerto Rico and across Hispaniola later this week, and that's a very mountainous island, and that will be breaking the circulation up, and what's left of it comes up across the Bahamas, and then if anything is left, it bends back into the Florida Peninsula toward Daytona Beach and Cocoa Beach. This is the ensemble look coming from INSEP, and really very similar type setup. This thing ultimately seems to be headed for the South Atlantic coast of the United States, mainly as a rain producer. The intensity guidance, only one model ramps it to a hurricane. That is clearly an outlier. Almost all models weaken the system after 36 hours, which makes good sense. Top 10 analogs. Lily of 2002, Betsy of 1965 show up. Those are the only two really significant Gulf systems. And again, it seems like this will be a big rain producer for parts of Central and South Florida, maybe Alabama. We'll see. I'll show you modeling here in a minute. Here's the official track coming from the Hurricane Center. Again, they pass it south of Puerto Rico, across Hispaniola, then curving up toward the Bahamas early this weekend. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll check the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at 500 millibars. Upper high over the Four Corners. We're on the eastern flank of that. And down below that, the air seems to be a little drier, and accordingly, the showers should be more scattered in nature. Here's the high-res NAM, valid tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Could it rain? Yes, no doubt about that, but the showers should be more scattered, more widely spaced. and it should be warmer, highs in the upper 80s. Wednesday, we might touch 90 for the first time since June 29th. And this has a scattering of showers and storms about, as you can see, especially over central and south Alabama. Hey, Thursday, here comes a surface front. That's a nice-looking high, pushing down around Des Moines, 1,018 millibar high. And again, that looks like we should see an increase in the number of showers and storms on Thursday. And then Friday, the model wants to bring in drier air into the northern half of the state. Can that happen? Yes. Will it? I'm not so sure. If you're in Huntsville and the Shoals, you might get away with no rain at all. I still think we need to mention a chance of showers and storms from Birmingham south on Friday. And then for the weekend, the GFS is in pretty good agreement. This upper low, the one that was over the Bahamas now, will be moving west, and it should be somewhere over the northern Gulf Coast around Mobile as we start the weekend. We've seen some different looks on this, but if that is correct, that would circulate the moisture back in here, and we'd have a pretty decent chance of showers and storms on Saturday with highs in the 80s if this is right. And then Sunday, that feature keeps on drifting west. We have moisture in place, and again, some chance of scattered showers and storms. And that's not to suggest it's just going to be a washout, kind of like the deal late last week, but clearly on both days we'll have the chance of showers and storms around at times, with highs in the 80s. And also note that broad surface low that's around Fort Lauderdale, that is Chantal. And again, this is Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll go to Monday. Chantal is in the northeastern Gulf. Alabama looks relatively dry on Monday, but again, I certainly mentioned a chance of scattered showers and storms. And let's keep going. This is Tuesday of next week. The GFS has Chantal south of Mobile in the Gulf. Wednesday, Chantal is still drifting west in the direction of the lower Texas coast. And this is the 18th, Thursday the 18th, and Chantal is south of Morgan City, Louisiana. Another tropical system is down there around Hispaniola. And for us, we still be kind of moist with some chance of showers and storms. And this is Friday the 19th. Chantal is kind of coming up into the Louisiana coast. It's just a big rainmaker, and that other tropical system is on the south shore of Cuba. So the tropics are definitely coming alive, but the GFS in the long term wants to bring Chantal west into the Gulf, and that would put us in a pretty moist tropical flow next week. So again, it just seems like every time you think you might want to dry out, you get something like that to deal with, and it suggests we'll have some tropical rain at times. We'll check the end of the forecast. This is July 24th. The heat bubble is centered out west. Salt Lake City and Denver and Laramie, Wyoming, and places like that. And for us, that looks fairly dry with some type of tropical system in the Gulf south of New Orleans. And, of course, 'tis the season for that. You'll see a lot of these looks, in 15 days on the GFS that never verify. But sometimes the model just kind of tells us things might be kind of active. And with the MJO pulse we've got in place now, that could very well be the case. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you can, watch us on ABC 3340 News this evening on the live stream or the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.